Alright, so today in Garage Mahal we are working on a 2004 Chevy Cavalier 3.8 liter motor, and I just got done doing all the plugs and wires on this thing, and I should have did a video on that because back there that was a major pain. You end up having to loosen up the motor mounts up here, pulling it forward a little bit. I tried doing it both ways, pulling it forward, not pulling it forward. Actually, I found out that I was able to do it without removing the motor mounts, but ultimately you're gonna have to remove this motor mount so you can get the plug wiring the right way. But anyway, today we're gonna do a Serpentine belt, and this is the new one. And the easiest way I found to do this is you want to take this little module apart, electrical connection, and put that in the motor mount so you have more room. I already took the bolts out on this, but this is going to be your coolant. So you want to move that over here out of the way, and then that's going to give you a lot of room in here to be able to get that serpentine belt out. I drew a quick diagram, which is always helpful. Marked the alternator, idler pulley, the main engine pulley, so it gives you an idea of how it gets mounted around. And what I found out is that this is a 15 millimeter, and yeah, I go a little crazy with my breaker bars just because these pulleys sometimes get super tight. But anyway, loosen that up, that goes down, and you're basically pulling the old serpentine belt out. And this car, it's actually not too difficult to get the old one out. But anyway, that one's pretty well worn. Let's throw that out of the way. Here's a new one. I'll pick that up in a little bit. But then again, following your diagram, so the hardest ones are probably going to be down here. So we'll fish that through. So that's that. Try to hold that in the grooves as best as I can. And this bottom one. The bottom one's always a bit tricky to get. Okay. So then that's going to go up over that pulley there. And the last one we're going to do is the alternator, because that's going to be a lot easier to get from on top. So it goes there. Get this one. Actually comes over to idle pulley. Alternator, that'll be last. I'll kind of get that, I'll just put that underneath there for now, and then this goes on top. Oh, hang on. So this is going to go top. That goes onto that pump. Hydro pulley. And this wraps down underneath to the bottom. Okay, so that's going to be there. That's that. And then last but not least is going to be the alternator. So see kind of how I wrap that around. And then the idler pulley I'm going to put in. And push up forward. And then we should be able to get that on nice and easy. Now make sure you look at the bottom and make sure that's going to be tracking correctly. It looks like it is. It's wrapped around there. Good. It's on that pulley. It's on the grooves of that. It's sitting good. It's sitting good on the idler pulley. Actually, I don't like the way that's sitting. So we're going to pull it out a little bit, even though it'll correct itself, but okay, there we go. That way it's going to track a lot better. And that's it. That's how you change your serpentine belt in about 10 minutes. And then just double check your diagram. So over alternator, all the way down to the bottom pump. Over. Serpentines through that. Goes up over the idler pulley, down to that pump, back up to the alternator. So there you go. 10-minute serpentine belt change on a 2004 Chevy Impala. And then last is make sure you put this all back together. This goes in here. And I got the two nuts that go up there. And then this plugs back in over here. And there's a little that snaps into place. And that little wire twist goes there. Holds everything out of the way. And then we put these two nuts back on. And there you go. 10-minute idler pulley. Actually, it's less than that. It's probably going to be about 8 minutes. But any questions, please leave them in the comments. But there you go. Thanks for subscribing and liking this video.